Hey guys, give me a 5 for 5 and yeah, we'll get this going. This is pretty intense right now, guys. It's not a, you guys know I don't come out here and try to sensationalize things, but I'm going to be real with you and just tell you, if you just read that comment that's right there, that really should say it all. This is the most intense thing I've ever reported on. It does not mean that this is the most intense thing that I've ever seen or has ever happened, obviously. But there's some things here I want to speak about because this could, yeah, I'm tired, Aaliyah. I'm tired. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Also, you know, um, I stay in a constant state of. It seems like I'm always sick or ill or something like that, and I don't like to come out here and tell everybody that all the time because it just brings everybody down. But this has got. I've been watching this thing really close, and I'm not like concerned or anything like that to the level of I'm gonna just jump around, go to this and go do that. What I will say is that this is the most alert that I've ever been. This could most definitely. Sorry about that, guys. If you could just hold on 1 second. I don't even know who the heck is calling me right now. Yeah, I'm gonna let that ring and let the answering machine get it, guys. I'm sorry if you guys are hearing that. Yeah, rookie. I'm a rookie, but yeah, guys, I don't want to play this up, and at the same time, I don't want to play it down, because as you can see, we've had over 10 X flares in the course of the past couple days. And what's even more, I hate using words like concerning or, well, I'll just use the word interesting. How about that? What's even more interesting, this last one actually has caused an increase in our protons, which is a radiation increase. And this was not fired off in the danger zone either. In that danger zone, I've talked about that before. Again, I don't like using that word, but that's the word that they gave it. Where is the danger zone? Well, it's on the right side of the sun from our point of view, which would be the west. It's reversed when you're looking at the sun. So, and by the way, guys, this is going to be a very short to the point stream. I don't want to add any bells and whistles to this because there's going to be enough of that out there, and I'm not going to be the one that does that because I think it's irresponsible. Because it's just not a, and that's why I'm timid to come out. And again, what have I always said? If I think it's going to be like grid down, I'm probably not going to be able to come on here and tell you. And the reason why is because the solar event that's getting ready to happen is moving very fast, right? I mean, fast enough that it gets here faster than what I put there in my thumbnail at 2 million miles per hour. We're probably looking at 4 or 5, even 6 million miles per hour particles on an event like that, which means that it gets here in less than a day. Close to 12 to 15 hours, or even on like a really big one. I'm not exactly sure. I think the Carrington event got here in like 15 hours. So put that in kind of, in your back of your mind and think about that. But I do want everybody to share this out because I want everybody to be completely aware of what's happening. This is not something to just ignore. And again, this is not something that you want to play up either, because if, I'm not saying we're going to get these big, like, side effects and effects from this thing that's coming our way. But what I am saying is the likelihood of that happening is increasing by the minute. And I'm not talking about grid down. I'm talking like extreme aurora. I'm talking about maybe some grid issues. Now, if this hits in the perfect storm type of way, with the double hits, triple hits, and in this case, quadruple hits. And then you throw in some Cannibal CMEs. And if our magnetic field is in the right position, as far as the BZ, like I talk about constantly, the -6, let me pull that graph up for you so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so what are we talking? This is the BZ, right? The red line. It's basically it's the magnetic positioning of or orientation of our magnetic field. Okay, so when that orientation is at a -6 or more negative, it puts us in we're oriented in a way that the solar weather just funnels in. If it's in the positive, it actually has an opposite effect. It will actually try to push things away better. And again, it's all magnetics. Positive and negative attract to each other. So if these particles that are coming, if they have that opposite polarity of what where our orientation is, then guess what? It's going to draw it in. That's what happens. Okay. So I just have to just point that out. But if this thing is in the positive when all this stuff starts hitting, in some ways it's not going to matter if they're really hard hits, because it will overcome that. Okay. We could be as positive as, you know, way up here if we are, and with a hard enough hit, it's still going to get in. It will lessen the effects of things, but still get in. With what we're talking about now, and I don't want to waste your guys' time showing you guys these graphs. Okay, I only showed you guys this one because look at all those X flares. Now you guys hear me talk about baseline or just ambient solar X-ray conditions. You know, the baseline where everything's just kind of staying without having flares. That's the X-ray production, right? It usually hangs out in solar maximum somewhere between the middle of B class flares and C class flares. Look where it's at right now. Our ambient condition is staying at M class X-ray flux conditions. So it doesn't take much of a flare to put us up into X class range. We're already having all those X-rays blasting us. So it doesn't take much. You know, kind of an example here, if it was down here, see how tall that is? If we were down here and had the same flare, it would even get to M class. Unless it was going to get there anyway, right? So, but this is, you know, the radiation storm. We are not at storm level with that. It doesn't look like we're going to get there yet. We may not get there. Even in an S1 radiation storm, it's really no effects on us. You're not going to notice it, okay? But we're going to be watching this, the geomagnetic activity, okay? And that's what we've got to be paying attention to, because this stuff is already fired off. And as everybody's been talking about this on the internet, I have to say, you know, I was out there reporting on it 3 days ago and telling you guys, hey, a lot of X flares. It's going to keep coming. We're seeing these sunspots. They're just crackling. I was sending you guys over to people that are way smarter than me, and they were saying the same kinds of things. Okay? Not like grid down stuff, because I wasn't saying that either. And I'm not really saying that now. I'm just saying that the chances of bigger events happening right now with what's coming at us, this is probably, like I said, this is the most intense thing I've ever reported on. Now whether it materializes into being very intense, I don't have a crystal ball. But what I do have is the ability to nowcast things. I will show you guys in real time. I'm not going to try to forecast things out, because it doesn't really do much good other than give somebody just a ballpark, hey, this could happen. And that's what I'm kind of forecasting here a little bit. But we're close enough to the weekend, and we're close enough to this thing to start hitting, that I feel comfortable enough doing that. Now, I did find it interesting, this. I don't know, because this is Noah's Enlil spiral, right? And anybody that's watched this or has looked at this ever, okay, Your first thing you're going to notice is what? The range. That's saying 100. That's very, very dense. This is saying 900 kilometers per second. That is over 2 million miles per hour. That's how fast this stuff is moving. Now they've got a hit here, a very dense hit, then another one here. They're only showing 2 of them right now. And they left this blank. And I don't know why. It puzzles me. Now their velocity here is there. But are you guys seeing this right here? Actually, it looks like they've got that third one on there now. Let's see. Let me just grab this. Okay. So there's 1, 2. Yep, they got the third one on there now. If this doesn't convince you that these things are coming right at us and these things are going to hit us, I have nothing else for you. This is official forecasting. This is the best model I can show you as far as direction of this stuff coming. It is hitting us in the middle on all 3 of these. North-south orientation and east-west. Okay? We're getting smacked with this. So whatever the effects are, whatever the effect's going to be. Right? So as we go forward, remember I said Cannibal CME, right? That second CME catches up with this one. And when it does, that's considered a Cannibal CME. No, it does not eat it. Okay? They don't even combine. What happens is it gets so close to one another, they appear to be one. But because of magnetics, they don't combine. Okay? Like I said, positive and positive actually push away. So everything in there is not going to be negative or positive. So that in other words, it's not going to, one's not going to eat the other. Okay? It's just, it looks like it does, and somebody gave it that name. And for the life of me, I don't know why. I mean, I get it. Visually, it's kind of what it looks like. But that's not what's actually happening when you talk about the physics of it. Okay? So when you're... And what's interesting here is it catches up right about the time it gets to our planet. Now, you've also heard me say, I don't oftentimes get to show you this black color. Why? Look. That's the top of the range. We're talking over, we're talking at 100 on density. Moving at a speed at over 2 million miles per hour. I always tell you guys, if both of those move at the same time, upwards, that's when we're going to get the hardest hits. And not only we're getting hardest hits, this is going to happen at, officially, these 3, okay? They're going to add the 4th one, because it just happened. There's a 4th one coming now. And I actually talked about it yesterday, but this is actually the 5th one in my opinion. But there was a small one that I'm considering a CME, but it's probably not going to have much of an effect, so I kind of let that go. Okay? So if I take you over to seeds, and I start showing you these things, what we're going to do is I'm just going to back it up. Now this is Soho, right? This satellite sits out in front of Earth, always looking at the sun. Okay, so I'm going to go back a few days. We're going to start here on the 6th. Now remember, on the 5th, we don't get no data. That's when it was having this glitching issue. Okay, and there were a few things fired off that day, but I don't think any of the ones happened that's going to be hitting us this weekend then. They would have already been here. Okay, so nothing really happened much here on the 5th, or the 6th, I'm sorry. So we go to the 7th, and this is when stuff started happening. You can see that faint halo. Then you've seen that big eruption there. That's not coming at us. And I've already talked about all these eruptions. Okay, so that one's basically what we would consider number 1. Let's go to the next day, and this is when you see 2 and even a 3rd. Okay, that was yesterday. 1. Okay, we'll count 1. I'm sorry. 1, 2, and then on the end you get a 3rd. 3rd. There were 3 Halo CMEs on the 8th. So that makes basically 4 CMEs coming at us. And whether that first smaller one hits, is it going to matter? It might. It might put our magnetic field in a state that it's excited and doesn't really have time to get back to normal before these bigger ones start hitting. So again, let me just slow this down and we'll count these. That one actually can give, there's the first one, boom. That's 1, 2, okay, and then here comes the third. That started off that way, but check this out. On the end, 3. That is 3 full Halo CMEs on the 8th coming at planet Earth. Alright, now let's go to today. What are we going to see here? Another one. Guys, it's not stopping. And that's really what has got me really watching this thing way closer than I've watched anything. This is today. This would make a 5th eruption. Officially. Halo eruption. So where's this coming from and why? What's going on with this? Right? So if I take you guys over to ISWA, we can start looking at that. Now, again, I'm not going to get tied up in semantics and try to sit here and just completely go down into detail where this stuff is coming from, because it's not necessary. We know it's coming. It's good to know that it's coming from mostly this sunspot. Okay, this one up here was the most active in the whole solar cycle. It's rotated off now. This one has taken its place, and this thing has not stopped. This is one of those things that's just like, what in the world? And there's also something very interesting about this sunspot. And I texted this to my some of my moderators and to Adam and Dex. But Dr. Tony Phillips, okay, I didn't notice this, okay? This was on his page over here. Please go show him some love. Hey, thank you, Full of Hope. Really appreciate that. Gifted membership. Thank you for all the gifted memberships lately, too, Full of Hope. You're much appreciated. Much love to you. Really. It really helps keep me going here. My family appreciates it, and so do I. So thank you for that. But anyway, over here at spaceweather.com, Dr. Tony Phillips' page, look at this. You know what this is? This is that sunspot right now facing Earth. Do you know what this is? That is the sunspot that caused the Carrington event. And I'm not even going to say anything else. I don't think I need to. You know, whether it matters that it looks the same, I don't know that it matters a whole lot. It's just one of those things you kind of makes you take pause and be like, okay, maybe we really need to look at this. And that's what I'm saying. And I know you guys can probably hear it in my voice that I'm trying my best not to just, you know what I mean? I don't think I have to say it, but I would say this, that it's very interesting that these are most definitely resembling each other. And when I seen that, I was, to be honest, I was taken aback a little bit. I had to step back and gather my thoughts a little bit before I was like, oh my God. And then I started thinking about it logically. You know, just because a sunspot looks exactly like something else doesn't mean it's going to erupt just like the one before. But what I will say, even though we don't have that massive double blast that we had with this Carrington event that was moving so fast it got here in like 15 hours, we now have 5 significant Halo CMEs headed at Earth, none of which have hit yet. So, you know, and this is why, you know, I look at things, and people know this, from a prepper's point of view. I prep, just like everybody else in the whole community. People prep at different levels. I am in no way, shape, or form afraid of this. But what I will say is, I am in no way, shape, or form ignoring this either. I'm not going to downplay this, because this is the most significant event I have ever seen. Now, again, if this pans out to be a nothing burger, great. I will be out here saying, hey guys, nothing ever happened. We were kind of wrong. Right? Now, if we don't have like big time grid issues or things like that, doesn't mean that the event wasn't huge. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that our grid didn't react like that. That's all that means. Okay? So what we're going to be watching here, and I'm going to be nowcasting it, so you'll probably see me quite a bit this weekend, because that's when this stuff's supposed to start to hit. And it's going to be short ones, kind of like what I'm trying to do here. Straight to the point. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to put any sugar on this. I don't want to try to add a whole bunch of explanation why things move the way they move, the direction, this, that, and the other, like I always do on my normal streams, which is important to understand. But we're already here in this event, so I'm not going to take the time to do that. I'm going to concentrate on what's going on. And I hope you guys can appreciate that. And anytime you guys see me go live, please hit that notification bell, because that's the only way you guys are going to know that I'm here. But I'm going to be, I will always live stream at least once a day. Just know that. And, you know, I usually take 1, sometimes 2 days off a week. It's never the same day. It just happens whenever. I got life, you know, I got kids. But just understand that I'm going to be here, okay? And if stuff starts happening, I'm going to be here probably that second. I'm probably going to live stream it as it's happening. I may not stay, I'm not going to stay live the whole time. There'll be, you know, when I say short, probably half hour or less. Maybe a longer one at the end of the day. And we can all have a question and answer, and people can ask me questions, that kind of thing. So everything I had planned this week just kind of got thrown out the window. I just want you guys to know that. I will be going back and doing the random number draw to get people their decks of cards. But I don't think it's pertinent. I don't think that should be my focus right now. So I'm not going to do that this week. It's going to have to wait till next week. I am sorry for that, but I think it would be irresponsible of me to do that. Because that's not why people are here. Not for this kind of thing. So here's the sunspot, guys. This is very, very unstable. It's very complex. Obviously, it is harboring energy to just flat out X flare, X flare, X flare, right? So when I say complex, it's when all the magnetic cores here start interacting with each other. They start intermingling, okay? So you got negative and positive, and when those two connect and there's a reconnection point, that's when it flares. This sunspot has been pretty much in a constant state of flaring, which is why we're seeing all of this. Okay, the X-ray base level is up, not just because of that one particular sunspot. The other ones come into play too. We have you know, other sunspots there. We got more rotating in up here. We got this one still kind of facing us, that any X-ray that it's producing is hitting us. Okay, so that all adds to that baseline I was talking about. So yeah. Now again, guys, so what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to read these every time I go live this week, but what I'm going to do, I would really highly encourage you guys, hold on one second here. Oh goodness, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm not going to read these space weather scales. This is a warning system for space weather, right? So what we're talking about here, the flares have already hit. Any effects where we're getting off the flares, they're already here and gone, guys. And they did give us R3 radio blackouts on the day side of the planet when it hit. It's a constant thing right now. So, you know, when during the day, ham radio operators are going to have a heck of a time broadcasting their signal. It's a constant thing. And let me show you what I mean. Okay, we come down here to the absorption model. That's a background X-ray, and then you got the D region absorption. It's showing you the X-ray production here, And what you're seeing, again, when it goes red, what is that? Yeah, obviously those are high M class or X class flares. You see how it never goes away? We're staying at a constant upticked level of almost radio blackouts at all times. Some sort of them, where they have to make adjustments to continue their communication. And I also want to point out, guys, yesterday and the day before, during some of the flares we had 2 separate days. I mentioned this yesterday, and I don't want to blame it on this because I can't completely, because I can't prove it out. But I'm going to mention it because NOAA and the National Weather Service, they were sending out their tornado warnings 10 minutes late. They were having issues 2 days in a row, and the flares line up exactly with the time. So, I mean, it's hard for me, especially as a guy that reports on the sun, to not draw and connect those two lines. It's hard for me to do that, right? So just keep that in mind, that happened. So we can look for more of that kind of thing. And with all those huge PDS tornado warnings, we had a couple of them just north and south where I live. It's like Moses came down and parted the storm so it wouldn't hit where I was standing, because it literally got to my county and split in half, and there were 2 tornadoes north, one north, one south, and one of them was a devastating one. Okay, so yeah, but with that being said, you know, we don't need those ham radio operators or the radio communications that first responders use to be having issues during those kinds of events. You know what I mean? People need to have the tornado warnings quick as they can. And you know, thank God for people like Ryan Hall and Max Velocity. Those two channels. You guys don't know those guys. You guys need to get over there. You know, Andy Hill. You know, Ryan Hall, most people know him. Max Velocity, his channel's growing. I've been with him since almost the conception of his channel, and he's up over 200,000 subscribers now. You know, and then you got some other ones out there that do a good job also, but you know, my go-to obviously is Ryan Hall. So if you guys are looking for storm coverage, that's where I would go. That's where I do go. But you can now see NOAA's official forecast here, and this may change. They are forecasting a G3, and that's actually, if you round up, that's closer to a G4. So what am I thinking? Right? I know you guys are going to ask me that, because you always do. What I'm thinking, and this is just what I think, this is my opinion, I think that there's almost no chance of us getting anything less at the peak of this a G3. Okay, so with that being said, the rest of them are in play, guys. I'm just gonna say it. G4 is a fairly good likelihood, I think. And again, it's just my opinion. And it's not based on the specific power of just one of these CMEs. It's based on all of them hitting in concession like they are. We talk about the double hits, the triple hits, all this stuff. That's happening. So, and I'm not even going to talk about the strength of our magnetic field, because in events like this, yeah, it matters, but it might not matter as much as what we think. You know what I mean? Because if it is a strong enough hit, it ain't going to really matter how strong your magnetic field is. It's just going to happen anyway. But what I will say, that we just need to understand that things can happen. Things do happen. It's not a matter of if. It is a matter of when. Okay? And I'm not saying that this is when. I'm just saying we have to be aware. Now, if I was forced to choose, I would say I don't think this is when, right? I think we're still going to have power. I don't think any of that's happening. I'm not scared whatsoever, but I am concerned and I am aware of what's going on around me, and that there is a possibility of that win this weekend. So, you know, even some of the people that are way smarter than me are speaking kind of like this, because this is what we talk about, right? This is why we do what we do, so people understand when these things happen. They don't have to run to the internet, run over here to Wages World, or run over to your favorite space weather channel and get the information, because you're going to know if things start going crazy or sideways on you. You're going to know what's going on. And that's why I do what I do up until and still today. So, but just to kind of recap, we got 5 CMEs coming. This is the 5th one. These are full halos coming right at us. NOAA's official forecast is at least a G3. Right here. And they actually tend to be on the lower end of things, guys. They do. That's just their historic stance that they take. Right? Because they don't want to overplay it and be the ones that are crying wolf. And that's what I don't want to do. And that's why you hear me talking the way that I am. I mean, I could be like half of the internet right now and come out here and say that this is all it, this, that, and the other, and all that. And I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that this is a very significant event, and we could see some major issues from this. And I'm going to be here for it to nowcast for you, because I simply can't give 100% on anything. But you guys have my opinion now, and I hope that you guys respect that. But I would suggest turn the notifications on, at least for this weekend, because if something does happen, I'm going to come here and tell you, if I can. But I probably will be doing another live stream later on today. It'll be later on this evening. I think it would be pertinent just to kind of check in with everybody. I'll probably do 2 a day, if not 3, as this is going, because people are going to want to know. They will be on the shorter end, and they'll be straight to the point, just like this one was. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and pop off, guys, because if I get these things going really, really long, not as many people watch. Okay, and that's why. And I get it. Nobody wants to watch an hour live stream every time I go live, right? So, but that's just me. But thanks to all my mods and everybody else here helping me, especially the big 3, big 4, big 5, right? We got Ripper, we got Ilea, Trinity, Hilly, Jammer, and there's a few others that have the special, I guess, ability to turn the chat on to slow-mo and that kind of thing. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for just checking in. All my moderators are awesome. All you guys are awesome. If you want to join the memberships, that would be great. Hey, IG. Guys, get up. Seismic activity. Thank you, IG, for popping in here. Seismic activity is probably going to be on the uptick too, guys. So keep an eye out for that. That's just what's going to happen. Okay? Hey, Shaper Girl. That's the hardest working woman I've ever seen in my life. That woman, every time she'll pop into the chat, say, hey, I'm driving, I'm working. But she still makes it to all of our shows in our community. It's amazing. It's crazy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But again, guys, join the memberships if you want. And we do typically one live stream a week just for memberships only. And I, we have fun in that one. It's fairly new. But I have been trying to do it once a week, and I still got to do one this week. So with all this stuff going on, I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but we will be doing that, and we have fun. And I kept the prices down on it. I think it's $4, the lowest price, and and then my highest one was only $20. So it wasn't. The point of the memberships was just to build a community, guys. So best thing you guys can do, share and all that kind of stuff. Hit the like button. I will be back as soon as I can. Get over and check out Ron if any earthquake stuff is happening. I've seen a lot of people in our community reporting on this, and they're doing great. Hey, Paula, thank you. Welcome to Red Kool-Aid. You're part of the Kool-Aid Krew. Heck yeah, baby. And all of that, guys. Stephanie, Miss V, you guys, Surgery 68. Good to see everybody. But there's other channels out there too in our community doing a really good job. Survival Living did a video on it. He did a good job on that, and there's others too. I'm just mentioning one, so I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time with that right now. But there are quite a few people out there doing some videos and doing some good ones. So just understand that. I will always tend to send you to people that are not going to fearmonger. So just understand that too. They're just going to tell you what their opinion is for that reason, because it's their opinion. So, alright guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and see you later on tonight. And hey, put some Kool-Aid in that prepper bag, because, you know, if you're going to have to drink something to stay alive, it might as well taste good, you know what I'm saying? And you could drink this Kool-Aid.